My name is Balqis Hijazdin. I'm from Jordan, and today I'm going to talk about my home country, Jordan. Some of the topics that I'm going to go through in this presentation are Jordan location and cities, the capital and the flag meaning, the Royal Jordanian family and the population, the religion, language, currency, tourism places, traditional dishes, clothes, and traditional dances, and some facts. First, I'm going to start with the location. Jordan is a very small country that is located in the Middle East. It was established on May the 25th, 1946. And the bordering countries are Syria, Israel, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, and then Egypt. Cities of Jordan. Jordan was divided into 12 cities, which are Irbid and Ajlan, Jarash and Al-Mafraq, Amman and Al-Aqaba. Amman is the capital of Jordan. I'm going to talk about it later, and this is where I was born. Az-Zarqa and Madaba. So the red area is Az-Zarqa, where my parents live right now. And then Al-Qaraq and At-Tafileh. The red area is Al-Qaraq, where I'm originally from. And then Ma'an and Al-Aqaba. The capital of Jordan, as I mentioned, the capital of Jordan is called Amman. Amman is the 93rd most visited city in the world, and it's also the 5th most visited city in the Arab cities. The best places to visit in Amman, there's downtown, where there's a lot of traditional stores that sells traditional clothes, and then some restaurants that serve traditional dishes. There's Roman theater that looks like this. It was built in the 2nd century by the Philadelphia Roman, and it can fit 6,000 people, and it was built in a way wherever you sit, the sun would not bother you. And then we have the Abdali Boulevard. Is the largest and the newest project in Amman and Jordan in general. People call it nowadays the new downtown, where also we have a lot of restaurants and places that sells traditional things and dishes. And also we have the biggest mall in there, and 6 different buildings for 6 different biggest business companies, such as Zain and Rotana. The Royal Jordanian family. So Jordan is a kingdom, and the current king called Abdullah II. He became the king of Jordan hours after the death of his dad, Hussein I. He got married from King Rania in 1993. One fact about Queen Rania is that she was Miss Universe in 2011. They got their firstborn, which is Hussein II. So in Jordan, usually the oldest son will be called the same as his grandpa. So as I said, King Abdullah II, his dad's name is Hussein I, and his son is Hussein II, and then it would go. Only for the first son. So my brother's name is Jacob, and my dad's name is Khalil, and my grandfather, his name is Jacob. And I know for sure my brother, firstborn son, is going to be Khalil. So, and he's 24 years old. The second born was Princess Iman, who's 22 years old, and then Princess Salma, who's 18 years old, and then Prince Hashim, who's 13 years old. The flag, as you can see, there's 4 different colors, and each color represents a different empire. So the black represents the Abbasi Empire, and it also represents the dead people. White represents the Umayyad Empire, and it also represents peace. Green represents the Fatimiyad Empire, and it also represents the gardens of Jordan. And then the red triangle represents the current empire, which is the Hashemiyad Empire. And as you can see there, in the middle of the red triangle, there's a star that has 7 heads, 7-head stars. It has an Islamic meaning, since Jordan is an Islamic country. And it represents the first 7 verses of the Islamic book that is called the Quran. The population of Jordan from 2019, 1990 to 2018 in millions. As you can see, it grows like really fast in the last maybe 4 years, and that's because we've been accepting many people from the bordering countries because of the problems that they have in their countries, like Iraq, Syria, and other. The religion in Jordan, I mentioned before, Jordan is an Islamic country, so 93% of the people in there are Muslims, and then 6% are Christian, one other religions. With just like I want to say 4 years ago, it was totally different. Before we accepted people from the bordering countries, it was only 2% Christian and 98 Muslims. So. The spoken languages in Jordan, so Arabic is the first language in Jordan. It has 28 letters. It is the second hardest language in the world after Chinese, and it's the only language that can be written and read from the right to the left. So, for example, I hope this.
I'm sorry, I don't have one. I didn't bring one.
And the second language is English. That is only spoken by some of the middle class and mostly from the upper class. The currency, our currency called the Jordanian dinar. I'm gonna pass some, so you can touch it, feel it, look at it. So the one Jordanian dinar equals $1.41. 5 is 7.05, 10, 14.09, 20, 28. And then we have some changes. It's called qirsh. So we have 50, 25, 10, and 5. And I want to mention an example about the difference between the Jordanian dinar and the US dollar. So this, I guess most of you know shawarma, the wrap sandwich, chicken or lamb. Okay, so this is very famous dish. I'll talk about it later. So this meal with a drink, it costs 2 Jordanian dinar, and it can make you full, and you might not finish it. But if you transfer the 2 Jordanian dinar into the US, it's going to be $2.8, $2.08, which you barely, I guess you can buy Doritos sharing size from Walmart for $2. So yeah, this is the difference. You can be full in Jordan, but in here, only chips. Jordanian tourism places, there's a lot of places, but my favorite and the most visited ones are Petra. Petra is one of the 7 wonders, and it was made by the Mesopotamians in the early 4th century. And it's also called the Rose City, and that's because of its stone color. Jordan River, it was mentioned in the Bible. It flows from the north to the south through the Galilee to the Dead Sea. Is where John baptized Jesus, and people from all over the world until today they come to get baptized in there. And then we have the Dead Sea. It's my favorite. It's the lowest point on Earth. It's one. Let me start with the meters. So it's like 423 meters below the sea level, which equals 1,388 feet below the sea level. It has a big percentage of salt, and that's why people flow in there. People make a big deal about it. I don't know why, but like they read books and while they are like laying down in the water. And then it has no living animals, and that's because of the salt. And it has a special type of mud that is usually used for mostly 2 purposes, which is skin treatments and beauty purposes. Jordanian traditional dish, so Jordan main dish called mansa. It is made out of dried yogurt, rice, and meat, usually lamb. We love lamb. Like in every single meal you will find lamb. It is the only food, I wrote in here that can be eaten, but it should be eaten. Even if you're a visitor, you should eat it with your hand. And there is a specific way to eat it. So usually we share the same dish. And since it's an Islamic culture, and we mentioned before that Muslims, they don't use their left hand, so their left hand should be behind their back or in their pocket, whatever is comfortable for them. And then you use your right hand, so you pour some of the soup, which is the yogurt, and then you mix it with the rice, and you take a piece of the meat, lamb or chicken or whatever, and then you mix it with the rice with the 3 fingers. And then you take as much as you can amount of rice and everything, and you transfer it into your whole hand. So you start playing with it until you create a bowl, and then you transfer it back into your 3 fingers, and then you throw it into your mouth without touching your mouth, because everybody's gonna be sharing the same, like don't touch your fingers with your mouth because everybody's gonna be sharing the same dish. And usually because men, they go crazy, so men have their own dish, and girls have their own dish. And then it's suitable for weddings and funerals. One more thing about it is that this dish is really heavy on the stomach, so when you eat it, you feel sleepy, you just want to go to bed. So usually they serve after a Jordanian dark coffee. Other Jordanian famous dishes, grape leaves. Maybe some of you heard about it. It's a grape leaves that has rice and lamb inside it. There's hummus and falafel. Most of you know hummus and falafel. Baba ganoush is a dip similar to hummus, but it's made out of eggplant. And then tabbouleh, it's a very famous dessert. It's mostly made out of parsley, and it has tomato, cucumber, sometimes green pepper, and then salt and lemon. Shawarma, chicken. It can be chicken wrap sandwich or lamb. And the shish kebab, which is a grilled chicken or lamb. That can be served with rice or with the vegetables like onion, tomato, and pepper. Some traditional clothes. So women, a traditional clothes called the midriga, and it looks like this. It's a handmade dress. Usually it's black, and the decoration would be red and white. And then there's, as you can see in the picture or here, there's some head decoration. It can be used for the head, or it can be used as a belt. And men, they have something called abai. It looks like this, mostly white, but now they start making different colors. And they have a head decoration, which called shmar, and it should be white and red, because there's another one that is, it looks like this, because there's another one that is white and black, but it's not called shmar, it's called kufi, and it represents Palestine, not Jordan. Traditional dances, there are 2 traditional dances. First, there's something called dabka. I'll show you a video later. That we usually use our legs for it, and mostly it's for guys, but some girls can join sometimes. And then there's the belly dance. It's only for girls, and it's all suitable only for women. Some facts. Okay, so if you go to somebody else's house and you say, "Oh, I like this vase," or "I like this picture," or whatever, that means that you're gonna end up going out with it because you're gonna take it somehow. And then when you want to greet somebody, you should stand up, and usually older people will sit first and then the younger. And if there is a young person sitting and there's an old person standing, he will offer him to sit because it's respect. And then not all Jordanians are comfortable with eye contact, so I might be talking to my teacher and I'll be looking on the floor or looking around, because it's not disrespectful. I learned it here. It's like people say like this is disrespectful, but in our culture we think about it totally different. It's like, this is respect, you know? And if it's from a female, then she's shy or something. And then members from the same sex, so guys can shake hands and kiss when they greet on the cheek. And then girls are the same, but since we're an Islamic country, so let me talk about Christian first. So Christian, I can shake hands with a guy, but I cannot kiss on the cheek. And we cannot hug or anything, like we cannot get close just shaking. But for Muslims, it's totally different because they are not allowed to shake, they are not allowed to kiss, nothing. They just do like this, like girls. And it's not just for random people or strangers, but also for relatives. Like if I'm a Muslim and my cousin male came and he want to greet, like he would greet guys, but me, he would do this and I would do this. You know, even with cousins, they cannot shake hands. It's culture, religion, whatever. When you finish your coffee, as I mentioned before, like when you go, they will serve you coffee, and after the mansab, they serve also coffee. You should shake your cup from the right to the left, and that means that you're done, you don't need anymore, because if you just put it there, they're gonna keep filling it, they're gonna keep calm, and you know. And as I mentioned, you're not supposed to use the left hand because we have the Islamic culture and the left hand considered a dirty hand. And then the relationships are not common back home, so there's nothing called boyfriend or girlfriend. So if there's somebody that likes somebody, they will go directly to engagement, and the engagement is not like, oh, he proposed and you say yes or whatever. No, the parents of the guy would come and meet your parents, and it's all about the parents. If they like the man, they would say yes. If no, they would say no. It's a culture thing, like it's for both Muslim and Christian, but I mean, Christians are not too strict about it as Muslims. Like, even if I want to get engaged, I'm Christian, like his parents should come to he cannot just propose or say, oh, this is my girlfriend, this is my boyfriend, you know. And then maybe just a month later or something, they will get married. Like, yeah, it goes really fast. And yeah, that's it. Oh no. Okay, so Jordanian like big families. So we would have more than 1-2 kids, like 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 sometimes. Like my mom, she has 6 brothers and 3 sisters, and my dad has 5 brothers and 4 sisters. So yeah, and they usually live together, and sometimes even the son, if he gets married, you know, they would prefer to stay with the parents and take care of them, and you know, live in the same house or same building or apartment. So some of the topics that I go through in this presentation: the location, the cities, the capital, the flag meaning, the Royal Jordanian family, population, religion, language, currency, weather, tourism places, traditional dishes, and clothes. Thank you. So now I would like to ask 2 questions. And whoever raised the hand first, I would give him her a gift from Jordan. So I mentioned before that I was born in a city. What is it called?
Albania.
Amman?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, that was close. So you get to pick.
Oh. I don't know. You can pick it.
Let's move this along.
Okay.
Okay.
And then
Sure.
another question is,
Thank you.
I'm originally from a city called, or I live in
Something.
Azaka. Because you participated, so I'll give you.
I have a question for you.
Thank you.
Go ahead while you're answering her question. We're going to change out. Yeah, please feel free to ask her any questions. Thank you. Wait, ask your question so everybody can hear.
Oh, I didn't know you.
No, we're just getting ready.
Okay. You said if you like something in somebody's house, you take it. Do y'all just give people stuff
Yeah,
at your house?
yeah. Like if you say, "Oh, I like this cup in somebody else's house," he's gonna give it to you. Like you're gonna take it. That's it.
And with the left hand, do y'all not have tissue? Like,
I mean, we do, but it's also still considered dirty.
oh, okay.
It's just a religion.
Oh.
thing.